No problem.
So are you going to be the spokesperson?
Yes.
Okay. Margaret Russell is here with the 300 Committee in Falmouth, and the 300 Committee working with the Conservation Department for the recipients of this grant. So
yes. And what I'd like to do is walk down to the picnic table so we can be in the shade.
Oh, that's nice.
Great. And thank you for coming. I'm the administrator of the 300 Committee, which is the land trust in Falmouth. With me is Leonard Johnson, president of the board, Betsy Gladfelder, who just stepped down as chairman of the Conservation Commission, and Brian Dale, our park superintendent. You will be seeing another of his projects, but he's someone who gives us a lot of advice along the way. This parcel, give you a quick background. First, the 300 Committee, while we're a private land trust, works very closely with the town, so that most of our work has been serving sort of as an agent for the town. We identify parcels, negotiate with the property owners, bring a project to town meeting for approval. So we work hand in hand. And even more so these days, because the town has very little money, as you all know, we've taken on increased role in managing and projects on town land. This parcel, 7 acres, was purchased by the town last year. It had been approved several years ago for a 5-lot subdivision. There was a small house on the property right behind you where the trees are. Because the funding was Community Preservation Act funding, 300 Committee, and a state grant of nearly $500,000, the state funding program requires that there be no structures on the property unless they're used for environmental or conservation purposes. I will say that we worked very hard to find someone who would move the house, and because of new building codes, because of the roof lines, the house would have had to been moved in 3 parts, and someone who was very interested couldn't make it work financially. So this is a case of undevelopment. We first chose this parcel, targeted this parcel, because of its location on the Coonamessett River. This is the Coonamessett River behind you and Pond 14, which has that really unattractive name because it's an impoundment that was created for agriculture, I don't know, 75, 100 years ago. If you can see this map from this distance, Coonamessett River snakes from Coonamessett Pond, which is the largest pond in Falmouth, down to Great Pond in East Falmouth, one of our coastal ponds. One of our goals and one of the town's goals has been to create a green pathway along the river. So protecting the water, but also creating the potential for a walkway along the river is one of our long-range goals. And if you can see these green swaths, this is what the town and the 300 Committee have been doing. This is Bartolomei right here. This is Riverbend Kennel, 10 acres that the 300 Committee purchased 3 years ago. These are the town cranberry bogs. With the exception of 2 small areas where we're looking for easements along cranberry bogs, we will be able to create a walking trail along the river of about 2.5 miles. So this parcel was sort of a key link. Right abutting it is Tony Andrews Farm. People in Falmouth will know that name. A farm now that's of about 35 acres, one of the oldest in Falmouth, which, needless to say, is high on our list. So the water, the linkage, the water protection was our reason for targeting this parcel. But once we looked at it closely and realized thought about the possibilities of land that has been developed with an open lawn, view of the water, and the topography of this flat area along the pond, made us realize that it would be a potential for a handicapped accessible trail. So having said that, having promoted that potential in our grants and to the town, we wanted to follow through. And again, as I said earlier, the town having no money, we wrote all the grant applications for the project, including funding from the county, the Community Preservation Committee, the Disabilities Commission, Cape Cod Foundation, and Walmart also contributed to the trail. Cost was a little over $2,200. $2,000. Let's get the money right. That would have been easy. And I must say we're a few $100s over budget, but that's not too bad. That's not too bad. This is a short trail. It is the first handicap accessible trail in Falmouth. We already have plans for some other possibilities. The picnic table here is wheelchair accessible. The only other wheelchair accessible picnic table in Falmouth, I believe, is one at the T-Ticket Elementary School. So this is what I think of as the first grown-up one. I think because of the location, this being right off Sandwich Road, a stroll for many, it will be widely used by seniors, which are the growing population in this town.
How close is the winery?
The winery is right over the fence.
Yeah.
Right over the fence, which is also something we look at and actually have conversations with the owner. So there's wonderful potential for linkage and expanding this conservation area. There's a trail in the back. At the back of the property, it dips down into a valley, and a Boy Scout as an Eagle Scout project has created a trail for us back there. I wanted to show you, I must say, I didn't do well on pictures. As we were kind of working out this, applying for grants for this property, we wanted to highlight the conservation value. So we have a lot of pictures of the scene right here. We didn't take pictures of the house. Oh, the swans are back. The swans are back. Yes, grand entrance. But that's fine. That is fine. So we have this
arrange for them to arrive at that propitious moment.
We did. Yeah, set out little food right down there. This does show you, this is where the house was. It was sort of a steep, small but steep slope, sort of regraded with natural contours. Leonard Johnson went up to New Hampshire to buy the Liberty elms. We got those at a great price, thanks to his transportation. But I also want to quickly just point out another small project that the county funded for us 2 years ago. This was restoration on a small conservation parcel on Sandwich Road. The front of it really was sort of gravel, woods in the back of this 7-acre parcel. Because it was just gravel in front, it was being used as an ad hoc parking lot. And a neighbor said, couldn't we do something about it? So this is sort of a very bare, about an acre in front, just bare, turned to the county for some support. The total project was $2,500, and I have my zeros right there. We purchased and planted about 50 or 60 plants. This is just the start of it, taken last year, all native plants. What I like about it is what we presented to the county was restoration of wildlife habitat. We did last year find an eastern box turtle on the property. But the other two benefits to me are Sandwich Road is a very busy road, some of it commercial, and this is going to provide some green buffer along the road. To me, that's becoming increasingly important that we have roadside buffer. But I also noticed that surrounding properties were kind of sprucing up after we started this project, and I don't know that we triggered that, but it was a nice nice happenstance that we've helped improve that property. The county funds, I will say, really are wonderful for a small organization like ours for relatively small projects. Most of the foundations we turn to are large off-Cape foundations who are interested in buying land. They think that's wonderful. These small projects, in a way, are too small for them. They also aren't interested in maintenance of conservation land. Handicap accessibility is big right now for a lot of funding sources. Wetlands restoration is big right now, but general maintenance projects aren't. So there's no one else we could have turned to for this restoration project, for example. And another application we are submitting next week. So Youth for the County does provide kind of a unique role for small organizations that isn't possible elsewhere. And we want to really thank you for that. It's a huge, huge help. If you have time, I'd like to take a walk on our small trail. There is a path up the hill, so we can do a little loop. Probably just take us 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And if do you have any questions?
A sixth of a mile?
A
Is that
sixth?
what we were told?
It is a
when we
sixth
first
of a
came?
mile, yes. We do that. Does anyone have any questions? No. All right.
Thank you very much, Margaret.
Well, thank you.
I have a question. How would someone contact you if they wanted to become part of your organization?
They can look on our website, 300committee.org, or give us a call at the office.
Thank you.
And we'd love their support.
Phone number.
540-0876. Thank you. Thank you.
Worked closely for most of my tenure with the county on a variety of projects. This particular one happens to be with the trees. And we meet periodically with tree wardens from throughout the county. And I don't know, 10 years ago or so, there was a request to establish a nursery for sustainable trees that would be available to municipalities. So I'll let Brian take over.
Thank you very much, Bill. Yeah, Bill, to be exact, it's been 30 years. I've been in Falmouth for 30 years.
Okay.
And I met Bill the first probably month that I was in my position, and one of the best things that ever happened to me, certainly. So, Bill had mentioned about sustainable trees. Bill and Roberta Clark are the editors, as you probably all know, of the Planting and Maintaining Sustainable Landscapes, the guide. And seriously, that has been my Bible since I have been in this position. And I know the same is true for many of the other tree wardens. It really is such a reference because it's local and it pertains to us here in Barnstable County. And I can point out the trees that we have planted here, as Bill had mentioned, are from the county nursery. And this is a true testament to the fact that these are the right trees for the right location. These are the right species of trees. They're disease resistant. They're also drought resistant. And this all came through Bill and Roberta's planning. And as you can see, we haven't watered these trees. We don't have the resources to do so. We planted these last year and actually last fall. And they have done fine since this year, since the drought. So again, a true testament. The trees, the way that the trees are dug at the nursery, it's done right. It's all done with a tree spade. The trees are all balled and burlapped. They're put in cages. So that's just another reason why these trees look the way that they do and that they do last.
What is this tree?
I'm sorry?
What's the name of the tree?
The names of all these trees? Yeah. This is a lace bark elm right here.
Lace bark.
Elm.
Lace bark?
Yes,
Lace bark elm.
lace bark, right. We have some green ash. Green ash right there. Shade master locust on the end and on the far end. We have a hornbeam right in the middle. We have a sweet gum over here to my left, and directly behind that is a dawn redwood. What's been very nice about the nursery, I'll get right to you, excuse me 1 second. What's been very nice about the nursery is that we as tree wardens have also had the opportunity to request certain species of trees that we know that work well for our own areas. And Bill has responded so nicely to buying these seedlings and to actually to plant them. So they become available to us. Last year we planted 21 trees in the fall. They were all from the nursery, and I must say that it was wonderful because it saved me $5,000 in a line item that typically I would have spent on shade trees. So that again is just a testament. It's been wonderful to participate in this tree nursery. So yes.
Are you still planting split bark sycamores?
I'm sorry. What's that?
Split bark sycamores.
No, I'm not.
Well, it was planted by the town after the flood.
Okay.
And it's been a struggle.
Oh.
It's still survived, it's still
Sure.
going, but it's prone to some kind of a fungus.
I'm wondering, is it the London plane?
Probably London Plain, yes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
We have some of those in the nursery, sycamores. Maybe not the same variety, but we We have about 2 acres of trees, usually at least 400 or 500 in the ground at one time. We start with seedlings, and these trees are probably, we're in the nursery 6 or 8 years and before we move them. Twice a year we send a note out to all the tree wardens and DPW officials and all, telling them that we're going to be digging with a list of what trees are available, and they send in the orders and we dig and they come pick them up. And so we do that in May and usually September.
I'll mention also that the costs are well below wholesale costs. So it's just a real benefit to us.
We do charge, but again, as Brian said, way below wholesale prices. That just keeps the nursery sustainable. We have set up a special revenue fund to keep the nursery going.
Now, what's on this tree? What is this green?
That's a lichen,
A lichen.
and it's not a problem for the tree.
Was there another question?
Question?
No, I had the same question.
Okay.
Everyone must ask, what is the expected growth pattern of the trees?
In general, all of these trees, they're all shade trees, and they're medium to large canopies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, all except for the dawn redwood.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, annual growth, I'm sure everyone asks this question.
yeah,
They are at the library.
sure, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Any?
Foot a year, 2 feet a year?
Although the green ash, and once they get established, then you'll see probably 2 to 3 feet per year. And then the green ash, they might grow probably 4 to 6.
They could.
Yeah.
After we move them, the first year they sleep, the second year they creep, and the third year they leap. So come back in a couple of years, you'll see some dramatic
That's good
growth.
answer.
It's been absolutely wonderful. One of the programs, or actually I should say, a very big benefit for me as tree warden is a lot of referrals that I give to either to Bill and Roberta or Dave Simser, but also to the website. And there's just so much pertinent information on the website about specific insects such as turpentine beetle, the elm ash borer, is Asian longhorn beetle part of that?
Yes.
Right. Asian longhorn beetle, Bill and I had gotten together, had spoken about that years ago, and we had actually kind of thought out a program. We got the tree wardens together, and we actually, Bill had gotten the folks from the USDA down to actually give us a presentation specifically about Asian longhorn beetle, and that was great. And Bill offers this. We usually have a couple of meetings a year with the tree wardens, and they're all very, very helpful. As a matter of fact, Pat Flynn had made the Asian longhorn beetle meeting. So.
Can we give her a quiz on the beetle?
And this will be quiz later. Right. So, but also some of the other programs, just so many other positive programs. The grant programs, they've been wonderful over the years. I had worked quite hard with the fire chief to do a fire management plan, which we did do in town for some of the conservation parcels. And we were unable to get it through the Conservation Commission, but in the same token, we did get a professional fire management plan done for one of our most vulnerable conservation areas. And it was a wonderful piece of work done by a professional and all funded through the county. Very pertinent. It was a public outreach that the fire chief and I had done. The people that surrounded this area were all very happy. A lot of the associations, a lot of the original homeowners, they actually put some of this fire management practice into place on their own properties. So that was a big benefit. I know a lot of the other towns on the Cape have participated a lot more, have gotten equipment through the county, funded through the county, and have done some landmark work in fire management, and it's just a wonderful thing. So that's a great program in itself. As I think back over the years, I can't think of all the programs that have come down through Bill's office, but I can just say that everyone is practical, it works, and is just wonderful. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you to
Thank
the
you.
county commissioners. So,
All right.